What are you doing, Boba? You woke me up.
I'm getting a snack.
Boba, get your head out of there. Boba, you can't eat that.
Why not?
Because it is chocolate.
How do you know that I can't eat chocolate? Oh, I think it has peanuts. I love peanuts.
I know because I am a cat, and cats know a lot of things. Cats can't eat chocolate either.
Why?
Okay, Boba, let's look it up together. Can dogs and cats eat chocolate?
But why?
Why can't dogs eat chocolate? Let's see. Because it makes dogs and cats very sick.
But why?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Okay, I'll look it up. Chocolate comes from seeds of a fruit that grows on a cacao tree.
I can eat fruit. I love bananas, especially with peanut butter.
Boba, you can eat some types of fruit, but not all types of fruit. Don't you remember that grapes and raisins make you sick? They are fruit.
Oh yeah. Keep reading.
Archaeologists have found evidence of cacao, or what we now call chocolate, in the area that is now Ecuador, dating back more than 5,000 years. Later, people living in Mesoamerica would use the seeds of the fruit to make a drink. The drink had a water base and often added spices and corn. They would pour the drink over and over again to make it foamy. They loved to drink the bubbly foam.
I like foam too.
Boba, look at this.
Wow. That looks like a big squash. I can eat squash.
Boba, I promise, we can't eat chocolate. I'm sorry. I want to keep you safe. It says cacao has something in it called theobromine.
Me, oh why me?
Theobromine. This is the part that is not good for cats or dogs.
Well, I'm going to call it me, oh why me? Because I can't eat it, and that makes me sad. Let's grow a chocolate tree anyway. I promise I won't eat it.
No, from what I see here, it looks like we can't.
But why? I really do not like that word no.
It says here that chocolate has to grow 20 degrees north or south of the equator.
Why?
Because it has to grow in a hot and humid environment, like the tropical rainforests near the equator.
What is the equator?
The equator is like an imaginary belt around the middle of the Earth. It is halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. Everything close to the equator, or in the middle of planet Earth, is hot. The farther away you get from the equator, the colder it gets.
I don't like belts. They are too tight around my tummy. I also don't like the cold. It is too cold. But I don't like hot weather either. It is too hot, and it makes it hard to walk, and I can't breathe, and my tongue hangs out, and...
You know, Boba, the cacao tree does not like cold weather either, but it loves hot weather. And guess what country is located right at the equator? Ecuador. Hey, I never realized the name of the country Ecuador comes from the word equator. Even cats can still learn things.
Okay, but we do not live in Ecuador or near the equator, so we cannot grow a cacao tree here. But that squash growing on the cacao tree does not look like a chocolate bar.
Yes, that is confusing. It might look like squash, but it is not a vegetable. It is a fruit. It is called the cacao pod, but it does have seeds, just like squash does. And chocolate comes from those seeds. Some cacao pods are orange like squash, but cacao pods also come in red, yellow, brown, and green. Let's keep reading. I want to find out how these seeds are going to make a chocolate bar.
Me too.
The site here says that making chocolate from the cacao fruit seeds is a long and difficult process.
Why? I do not like long and difficult things.
Farmers have to harvest the cacao fruit in the cacao pod. They then have to cut the cacao pods and pull out the white pulp inside. There is the cacao fruit. They call the fruit Baba.
They call it Boba? That is my name too. See? I'm sure I can eat it.
Not Boba. It is called Baba.
Why do they call it Baba and not Boba? Boba is better.
Baba means drool, slimy or mucus in Spanish.
I love slimy things. Boogers and slugs are delicious.
Thankfully, the fruit of the cacao pod does not taste like boogers. It tastes a little like a lychee fruit. Some people use the juice to make drinks.
I still don't understand how a seed can become a chocolate bar. That I can't eat. I can eat squash seeds like pumpkin seeds. I can eat sesame seeds too.
It says here that the chocolate seeds, or beans as people call them.
So are they beans or seeds? I'm confused. I can't eat beans because, you know.
Yes, that is confusing. It says they are seeds until they are fermented. After they are fermented, nothing can grow from the seeds, so they call them beans.
So confusing.
Anyway, the cacao seeds are usually fermented in a wooden box.
What is ferment? That rhymes with deodorant. Or cement.
I don't totally understand, but it says fermentation starts as soon as the cacao pod is cut open. Farmers put the cacao fruit, or baba, into big wooden boxes as soon as they can and cover them with banana leaves.
Bananas have leaves?
Yes, bananas grow on trees and the banana tree has leaves.
Wow. I love bananas.
Yes, you mentioned that. Okay, back to the fermentation. The cacao fruit is put in boxes and covered with banana leaves. In the air and the environment, there are bacteria and yeasts, or microbes.
That is so confusing.
Let me try to explain better. Just like you, Boba, yeast and bacteria are hungry. They need to eat to survive. Microbes get into the cacao fruit from the farmer's hands, from the air, from insects, banana leaves and more. We don't like to think about it, but microbes are all around us. Once they are on the cacao fruit, they start eating it. Because, just like us, microbes love sugar. The microbes are eating the sugar in the fruit that surround the seeds, and this makes the seeds get hot. That process is called fermentation. Fermentation adds flavor to the seeds. After they are fermented, they are called cacao beans.
Right.
Boba, this says the farmers lay the beans out on cement to dry after they ferment. So you made a good connection between cement and ferment. Just like you lay on the cement in the sun to get warm. Cacao beans do too.
I do like to lay on cement in the sun, as long as it doesn't get too hot.
The cacao beans need a lot of sun, so they are dry before the farmers put them into big sacks and ship them around the world to chocolate makers. If the beans are not dried properly, the cacao beans can get moldy and will not make good chocolate.
Moldy chocolate? Yuck!
Yes, yuck. Farmers use rakes to turn the cacao beans over and over to make sure all sides are dried. Some farmers lay the beans out on big racks to dry. It depends on the farm. The point is, they have to work really hard to get the beans properly dried, so they make good chocolate. Next, the beans are sent to the chocolate makers all around the world.
What is a chocolate maker?
Someone who makes chocolate.
Why do they make it if I cannot eat it?
Well, because they like chocolate, I guess. Most people like chocolate.
I don't even know if I like chocolate because I cannot eat it.
Blame it on the theobromine. Chocolate has it, and you cannot eat it. It doesn't make humans sick, but it is really bad for dogs.
Me oh why me?
I am mad at theobromine.
So unfair.
Yes, it is unfair. However, I do want to keep you safe, Boba, because I love you.
Thank you, Butters. I love you too.
Okay, I know you are hungry, so let's keep reading. All of this talk of chocolate is making me hungry too. The chocolate beans have to be hand-sorted when they get to the chocolate factory. They dry outside and come from farms, so there are sticks, rocks, bugs, and sometimes rotten or broken beans mixed in. The chocolate makers throws away anything that is not good.
I'll eat them anyway.
Boba, you can't.
So unfair.
Yes, it is, Boba. I'm so sorry.
It still doesn't look like a candy bar, and I am so hungry.
Now the beans have to be roasted.
What is that? Is that like toasted? I love toast with butter.
It means they have to get hot in something like an oven.
Why?
Because roasting changes the taste of the beans. When you eat bread, it has a certain taste. When you toast your bread, it changes the taste, right?
Right. I like toast. I want some toast right now, with chocolate on it.
I know. I wish you could too, but you would get very sick.
I don't like sick.
This article says gently roasting the cacao beans sanitizes them too. It can also make them taste less bitter.
I don't like bitter.
But you do like butter. And me, Butters.
Yeah, I love buttered toast. And I love you, Butters.
Ah, thank you, Boba. I love you too. What do you do when you get too hot and you are wearing a puffy jacket, Boba?
I don't like hot. I take the puffy jacket off.
Yes. And now the cacao beans are hot, the shell outside the bean is easier to take off, like your puffy jacket. This is called winnowing. The shell needs to be removed so they can grind up the cacao beans, now called cacao nibs.
Is winnowing like whining? Because this is so confusing. Seeds, then beans, now nibs. I am going to winnow now because I am hungry and confused.
Winnowing and whining are different. You are whining, not winnowing. When the outer shell has been removed or winnowed, the roasted nibs are ready to get smashed up into a thick, gritty paste, just like using a grinding machine to grind shelled peanuts that makes peanut butter.
Oh, yum. I love peanut butter, especially chunky peanut butter. Why are you talking about food all the time? You know I am hungry.
Boba, you can eat peanut butter soon.
Yay! I love peanut butter. And I love you, Butters.
Thanks, Boba. I love you too. Chocolate makers grind shelled cacao nibs into a chunky paste using a big metal machine with a stone grinder called a malager. The malaging machine spins like a merry-go-round. As the machine spins around and around for a few days, the cacao paste becomes a smooth liquid.
It looks good. Are we done yet?
Let's look at the pictures. Does it look like a candy bar?
No. But Butters, talking about peanut butter and chocolate makes me hungry. I'm going to get a snack.
But we are almost done, Boba. Okay. The cacao seeds or beans have been harvested from a tree, then fermented, dried, shipped, sorted, ground, and mixed. Boba, you will love this next part.
What?
Sugar, Boba. They add sugar.
Oh, I love sugar. Are we done?
Sometimes they add milk too.
Do I like milk?
Yes, you do. It looks like there is one more step. Hang on.
I'm going to get a snack now.
The last step makes it possible for the chocolate to become a candy bar. Tempering.
Tempering? What is that? When you lose your temper, do you call it tempering? Because I am tempering right now.
Tempering has nothing to do with your temper. This might be the most complicated part to explain, so we will both have to control our tempers. Let's both take some breaths to help calm us down.
You know I can't take deep breaths. I'm a pug. We can't take deep breaths because of our short noses.
Oops, sorry.
And I am losing my tempering. This is too long. I can't eat chocolate anyway. Why should I spend time learning about chocolate when I can't even eat it?
Cats are curious. I know you are too, Boba. Learning is fun. I love learning with you.
Thanks, Butters.
The grinding of the cacao nibs turned them into liquid. To make the liquid chocolate into a solid bar, chocolate makers have to do something really hard called tempering. Just like you and I are in a bad temper, poorly tempered chocolate will make everyone in a bad temper. You know how you love crispy potato crisps?
Yes, and I want some right now.
Potato crisps should crunch when you bite them, right? If potato crisps are not crunchy, we will not like the taste of them or enjoy eating them. Most foods should have certain textures to make them enjoyable to eat. Chocolate is the most enjoyable when it is glossy, smooth, and melts nicely on your tongue.
Well, not on my tongue.
Good point. A well-tempered bar will melt in a human's mouth and not in their hands, be glossy, and have a nice snap when you break it into small pieces. There are some exceptions where well-made chocolate does not have a snap, but usually, well-tempered chocolate has a nice snap.
What is snap?
Remember when you tried to eat spaghetti noodles before they were cooked because you were so hungry?
Yes, that hurt my teeth.
The sound the hard noodles made when you bit down on them was a snap. When chocolate is tempered correctly, the chocolate will be shiny and it will snap. Snappy chocolate tastes good. Snappy noodles do not taste good.
I don't like raw noodles.
You wouldn't like chocolate that was not well tempered either. If chocolate is not well tempered, it is not pleasant to eat. It might even have the texture of chalk.
Yuck! I ate chalk once and it was crumbly and dry. I do not want chalky chocolate.
That was silly when you ate chalk. You had white dust all over your face, and you look like a ghost.
Are we done? Because I am not tempered right now.
After the liquid chocolate is tempered, it is poured into molds. A mold is like a baking tray, but for chocolate. The chocolate solidifies in the mold as the chocolate cools down and is finally in the shape of a chocolate bar. Now we are done. And now we know how a chocolate bar is made and why dogs cannot eat chocolate. But if I wasn't a cat,
and if I wasn't a dog,
we could eat chocolate.
We could eat chocolate.
But we can't.
But we can't. Not fair.
Not fair. Come on, Boba. I will help you get something you can eat.
Yay! Finally.